NASCAR is not a sport that I have a ton of experience with. Growing up in the Northeast, it was mostly seen as a dumb sport for hicks and hillbillies. Maybe at some point that was accurate, but it really isn't right now, because NASCAR is a sport for no one. Since at least 2006, attendance has cratered. Do I understand why? Not really. It could be that increased safety led to boring races. Maybe it was the financial crisis. Maybe it was the death of Dale Earnhardt. I don't know. And I don't have anywhere close to enough experience to guess. Cars serves as an unknowing farewell to the golden age of NASCAR, a homage to a bunch of cars driving in circles. Cars is a movie about a hotshot racer named Lightning McQueen who gets stuck in a small town called Radiator Springs. He meets new friends and a mentor who was badly injured after being a race car back in the 50s. These people allow Lightning to grow as a person, learn that he needs a strong team, and realize that winning is not everything. Now, you see how this summary was around a third of the length of all other Pixar summaries? This movie's plot is very simplistic. Hell, replace race car with race car driver, and this could happen in real life. That doesn't mean that this movie is awful. It has great elements like Radiator Springs, which is a great tribute to Route 66. It has fantastic animation and a wealth of gorgeous animated landscapes. But why was a movie like this even made, especially right in the middle of Pixar's golden age? In terms of Pixar movies, Cars was not a very well received one. It's not terrible, but it's not on a Pixar level. At the time this movie came out, Pixar had only made pretty good movies, and while Cars was pretty much just a fluke, after Cars, Pixar still made really good movies, but around the mid-2010s, their output got more inconsistent. Brave, Monsters University, The Good Dinosaur, Finding Dory, and Incredibles 2. These movies are not bad, but it's clear that something has changed. For example, look at Finding Nemo. It's a movie about a single father trying to protect his son after being traumatized by a horrific event. It's a complex, adult concept, but through great writing and fun animation, they made it a movie that could be enjoyed by literally everyone. Cars, on the other hand, it's a movie about a race car that learns about friendship. That's a concept that a young kid can already understand. There's nothing that'll give kids a new insight or even give adults something to think about. And I'm not saying that a movie needs to be that to be good, but that's the magical element of Pixar movies. It'd be like if for one episode of The Office, they did a traditional 3-camera sitcom with laugh tracks. That style can be good for a lot of shows, but I think everyone would be left disappointed that a show that was the gold standard for television lost its charm. In a way, that kind of happened, but I'm getting off track. My main point is that the general public, critics, pretty much everyone, had seen Pixar as the guys that made good, and in my opinion, great family movies. But this is a good kids movie, and there's a pretty big difference. Let's talk about SpongeBob for a bit, why don't we? SpongeBob is probably my favorite show ever. It's funny, it's creative, and when I was a kid, I thought it was really fucking cool that one of the characters had the same name as me. SpongeBob has had dozens of great video essays done about it, so I won't add on to that quite yet, but the reason I bring the show up is to show something. I almost exclusively watched Nickelodeon as a kid because I was scared of Adult Swim, and then when I got older there was YouTube, and I haven't really watched cable since. Nickelodeon has shows like iCarly, Fairly Odd Parents, Drake and Josh, Fanboy and Chum Chum. This show is terrible. Combined, I've probably watched thousands of hours of these shows while waiting for episodes of SpongeBob to come out. Compare that to SpongeBob itself. Look at these episodes: Bubble Stand, Ripped Pants, Pizza Delivery, Jellyfish Jam, Hall Monitor, and so many others. Guess what? That's season 1. Great content made for kids can and does exist. Movies and TV that provoke the minds of kids and adults alike. Cars is not that. It's just a dumb movie about NASCAR. And much like NASCAR, it seemed as though Pixar was past its prime. That's not true. Pixar would go on to make many great movies again. It proved that this idea of the perfect studio in my head wasn't quite so perfect. But Cars 2, on the other hand, now that's... Life could be a dream if I could take you up in paradise up above. If you would tell me